Good morning, everyone. We're gonna get started, and I know there's some people that are going to be joining us, and we're delighted because this webinar is actually recording as we speak, and we're very happy because we did have some technical difficulties at last month's webinar. So here we are.
So welcome to today's topic. It is Rev Your Revenue, building a resource list that markets you. We are going to get started. I know there are a few more people that said they wanted to be on this call, but why don't we just jump in and introduce ourselves to everybody? So we are the ReadyStageMove team. And on the left, which is not my voice, we have Bernadette Flame. She's actually on my right, so speak, Bernadette.
Hi, everybody. I am Bernadette Flame. I am the home stager of this real estate triad.
I am Jean Marie Herron. I am the professional organizer in this triangle.
And Maria Rini, I'm the realtor on the right side of the screen.
Okay, so I think most of you know a little bit about us, but together we have a product called the ReadyStageMove Kit. And one of the ingredients, if you will, in our ReadyStageMove kit is something called a resource list. Some people call it a donation decluttering resource list. And we want to talk to you today specifically about this one document that could be very instrumental in helping you grow your business. So really, we were talking about list building and the fact that if you want to have a repeat and referral business, you want to continually add relationships to your database. So using this example, we call this a donations resource list. What you can do with a document such as this is help, continue to build on your relationship building. So when you put together a professional document, such as this, you can use it for a couple things. You can give it out as a token of your appreciation for helping somebody or for doing business with somebody. You can use it as a learning tool so that somebody understands better what you do. So if I was to pass out this donation resource list, somebody might understand my profession better. So I help people, declutter their homes. And you can also take this principle. I mean, I'm using a donation resource list as an example of something that could market myself. But if you were a realtor, you could take this same principle and turn it into a fix-it list. If you were a stager, you could take this example and turn it into a design list. So really what you're doing is, providing proof of how you work and a learning tool. It's also strategically, it's a great leave behind. So what you want to do is you want to put your contact information on it. So when you hand it out, whether it's in a paper version or an electronic version, you're branding yourself. And you can then collaborate with somebody else. So one of the things I do with this screenshot sample, you see the logo up top and it says ReadyStageMove, but when I have this, the name of my organizing business is Posse. What I would do is I would put the Posse information on it. And if I'm going to collaborate with somebody like a moving company, I would put their information on it as well. And I might go into a moving company situation and develop a relationship and say, hey, maybe this would help your clients. So I do have somebody from a moving company that shares this concept with me, collaborates with me, and she puts a copy of this document in all of her contracts when she hands it out to her moving clients.
Now, just a different twist on it that I take, this is Maria the Realtor, we've got on our website an electronic business directory. So and my thought is this, Jean Marie is very, specific, and Bernadette is more specific as, decluttering and design. Our experience has been that we have people coming back to us over the years for all manner of things, like I need a painter, I need an accountant, they just run the gamut. So we have an electronic business directory that we feature on our website. It's actually hosted by Buffini and Company for us. It's a part of our membership there. And we can, update it, with a few keystrokes, and we keep it current, and it's a reason for our clients to revisit our website, not just to look at homes. Maybe they're settled in a home, they're not going to be moving anytime soon, but they may come back just to look at different businesses. One interesting twist, I had neglected to put I forget what business on there. And I got a call from a client and they said, hey, you told me that, you know, I was calling you about, let's say it was a carpenter, and I had been on I didn't see him on your business directory. So I said, gee, that was an oversight on our part, and we included him, but it just demonstrated to us that we've got people going on there and looking for resources, even when they're not reaching out via telephone.
And this is Bernadette. I wanted to share with you how I was able to use this particular list very effectively. I recently went into a staging consultation into a home that the individuals have lived in for 40 plus years. As you can imagine, the home is incredibly packed with lots of things, but more importantly, there were other issues in the home that needed to be addressed. I knew myself that this was something I didn't even want to deal with, but also knew that it had to be addressed prior to me coming in to stage the home. So I thought very creatively and told the realtor, I said, let me bring my organizer's resource list with me, and then I can promote her services. And so throughout the entire staging consult, I referred back numerous times to her and to the list and to the level of resources that we could provide throughout the process, making their situation less stressful. My ability to do that and pull it out at the end of the meeting with her business card attached was quite successful because, and of course, I stressed that there was no obligation and so on and so forth. But I would say within hours, she received a phone call saying, we absolutely need you. And I knowing full well that they were not going to look at that list and perhaps say, oh, I need to call big brothers, big sisters to pick up our donations. They just weren't at that point psychologically or certainly physically. So I think it was just a great situation for me to know that I would be able to see them be able to accomplish what they needed to prior to me going in, and then I could very effectively collaborate with Jean Marie in terms of knowing what had to stay, what had to go, and where everything else was going to go in the interim.
Great. Thanks, Bernie. Just to finish up on this slide, this is probably one of the most requested documents that I am ever asked for, whether it's from strategic partners or from prospective clients. I had an assessment yesterday. It was a referral from another client of mine. I had never met the woman before. And when we were done with our little walk-in talk in the house, luckily, she solidified a contract with me. And one of the first things she asked me was, oh, you know what? Sue told me that you had some kind of a list that helps us, declutter our houses. Can I have that list? And I said, of course. But how interesting that another client had already told her about this quote unquote list. All right. What you want to do with this list is continually touch these resources. So become very familiar with the contacts that you list on there. I mean, I know it might be difficult to, get a handle on the person who runs, lupus internationally, but you can put people on there that you really want to get to know well, and you want to understand their business and you want them to understand yours. So for example, on my list, there's a local store called Ditto, and they take gently used furniture. They take all kinds of donations, and they're only a couple towns away from me. So I want to make sure that the owner knows who I am and vice versa for, again, repeat and referral business. You might have junk removal services on there. As an organizer, it's very important for me to know who I can turn to and trust for junk removal sources. So put people on there that you truly want to get to know, and you want them to get to know yourself. So again, you're adding them to your list of resources, but for repeat and referral business, because we're really here for lead generation. And if we want to keep our pipeline full of prospective customers, something like this list is really handy. And don't just build it once and then stop. It's sort of like organizing. It's a continuous journey. You want to make sure at least once or twice a year that you're annually updating it. And then I think I mentioned before, have it both paper and digital. And you can ask your resource to share it. Maria had talked about her directory, but if you can get somebody to put your list on their website, then again, it's got your branding. You're constantly, out there. Okay.
I wanted to just mention something. This was something that happened just recently. I think the other important thing is you really need to know your resources, those individuals that you do refer. I referred someone recently, and it didn't go so well, actually. And it was a bit disappointing to me because I had only had positive experience with this person. But it really can affect your credibility with the client or that individual that you referred this resource to. I think it's so important to really have a very clear handle. I think also too, those resources need to understand very definitively that you expect them to represent you. And, honestly, they can do whatever it is that they do when they're not doing work for you, but they better sure be able to make sure that they hold up to the standard that you expect from them. And I certainly went back and had a conversation and made it very clear that this was extremely disappointing to me, that it really was a matter of that could have affected my credibility in terms of being able to refer effective third-party experts and vendors and so forth. So that's something that I would recommend and give you advice on, that you must know your resources and make sure that they understand what you expect from them as well.
Yeah. And when you build a list like this, what you really want to do is think about it as warm networking. Make sure you're calling these resources, emailing these people, stopping by their place of business, maybe bring them, a little token of appreciation. If you've got a monthly e-zine, if you do blogs, add them to those pieces that go out on your marketing with your marketing, and ask for the return favor as well. So if I was to find out that Habitat for Humanity was opening up a restore in Bergen County, I want to make sure that I stay in touch with the person who's going to be in charge of that and not forget. Okay, so we'll go to the next slide. Are you good with that, Maria? All right. So who should get this? Well, your strategic partner should get this. Think about your circle of influence and think about the folks that you want to synergize with. I mean, we're, Realtor Organizer and Stager sitting here. So we would want to share this document with homeowners that we work with, all of our prospective clientele, movers, attorneys, contractors, junk removal companies, maybe shredding companies, auction houses, consignment houses, the folks that are not only on there, but the folks that you want to do business with as well.